Turkish officials blamed Tuesday's attack on ISIS, but the terror group has not officially claimed responsibility. Today, CIA Director John Brennan said Tuesday's attack has the hallmarks of ISIS, and he believes the fight against the terror group is far from over.
ISIS's ability to continue to propagate its narrative as well as to incite and carry out these attacks, I think we still have a ways to go before we're able to say that we have made some significant progress against them.
Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge joins me now with more on what the CIA Director shared today about ISIS. Good evening, Catherine. What are your sources saying about all this?
Well, my contacts say that the sophistication of this attack in Istanbul is at a level they have not seen before. We had 3 suicide bombers working in concert, and we've got a piece of video that may tell us a lot more about their motives and objectives. We've seen this video a lot. This is the guy on the ground. He had come in guns blazing, and then when he's injured, he blows himself up with that detonator key. One of my contacts suggested that the true intention was to take hostages first and then use the suicide vest in stage 2 during police negotiations. If he had simply wanted to blow himself up, he would have gone into the airport as slowly and silently as possible and hit the most congested area and then detonating.
And Catherine, the CIA Director also went on to say and describe the ISIS threat to the U.S. as this.
The United States, as we well know, is leading the coalition to try to destroy as much of this poison inside of Syria and Iraq as possible. So it would be surprising to me that ISIL is not trying to hit us, both in the region as well as in our homeland.
I mean, we know that they are, right?
Well, that's right. I had a conversation recently within the last 2 weeks with a government official who was briefed on the intelligence, who said to me they believe there are 6 ISIS entities whose sole responsibility is to train operatives to then launch attacks outside of the region, so specifically Europe. And there is intelligence that they sent armed operatives into Europe prior to Ramadan. And remember, with the visa waiver program, Europe is really just one flight into the United States.
Yeah, and we have seen some of these terrorists try to get into those Syrian migrant groups.
That's right, the refugee streams.
The refugee. What about the bombs?
Look, based on what we've seen just with the photographs and the video, this looks to be a weapons-grade explosive. And that's important because when those bombers ran into the airport in Turkey, they did so with relative ease. The vests were relatively light. When we think about what happened in Brussels, we saw the same kind of damage, the kind of tiles coming down from the ceiling of the airport. But those were suitcase bombs. Those were bombs of about 20 or 30 pounds. So this, again, tells us there's a level of sophistication, weapons-grade material.
So we're not matching the two. They obviously are similar, but sometimes these cells in areas have one bomb maker.
That's correct.
And they kind of do all of the bomb making in that region.
That's right. We understood that Brussels was directed by ISIS in Syria. At least the evidence so far preliminarily shows that this well may have been directed by ISIS in Syria. The question is whether the bomb maker is in Turkey, and ISIS is reluctant to accept responsibility because they have been in almost all of their attacks in Turkey because of that close proximity with the border.
Okay, Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.